would I call it, lamentations. They were here earlier in the day. They came to the complex. That's my office complex, and they complained bitterly of the multiple taxations that happens in the oil mill market. So I'm going to explore that conversation, but I'm going to look beyond the oil mill market. I'm going to go to all of the markets in River State. Of course, I can't go all by myself. I will need your help, and that's why it's going to be an interactive conversation, because I will open the phone lines. I want to know who usually would come collect taxes from you. However, I will be having the CDC chairman, the rumoured markets, in the studio, and I would like to hear from him. I'd like to hear why there are multiple taxes in oil mill market. And 6 o'clock would bring you the major news. After the major news, the open season, where we do a round-off of the conversations that we have had on the show today. Once again, I am Kalada Kurubatibo. You can follow the conversation online, Nigeria Info PH on Facebook. We're live. Nigeria Info PH on Twitter. We're active. Nigeria Info PH on YouTube. We are live. All right, to the very first big story making the round, as I've selected. Rivers PDP kicks against EU election report on former Governor Wike. Port Harcourt Ring Road to be completed in 3 years. Interesting. Wike's rumoured influence in emergence of minority leaders, baseless, coming from Ned Nwoko. And resident doctors give federal government ultimatum to implement salary raise. NECO deploys e-platform for result verification confirmation. And these are the big stories. And I'm going to run quickly because time is far spent. So to the very first big story, I'm going to be reading from, I think for the first three big stories, I'll be reading from the in-house bulletin. Yes, the Kuwazibi Info Bulletin. And I'm just going to go straight to the 12 o'clock news bulletin that talked about Rivers PDP kicking against EU election report on former Governor Wike. We talked about it briefly yesterday on the big stories, but we want to take the reaction of the PDP. Now, the PDP Publicity Secretary in Rivers State, Sidney Gbara, has condemned the European Union Election Observation Mission report on the 2023 general elections that said there was a constrained campaign environment in Rivers State, with the former state governor imposing campaign rules that were more restrictive than INEC regulations. Mr. Gbara, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otaka, said the report was not based on facts. He said Rivers State Executive Orders 21 and 22 was to protect public facilities in the state. Okay, let's get to hear what he said, and then I'll take your reactions eventually. As
a party, People's Democratic Party, we completely condemn that report, and we say that report is not well intended and it was not meant for the good of Rivers people. It is a setup by some individuals to scuttle the chances of PDP in whatever sphere, because we were all here and we saw how the whole political scenario played out. The executive orders we saw in Rivers State, previous administration, prior to this election, was not targeted at the opposition political party. Some other political parties who never wanted to be, they made alternative venues for their campaign.
Also speaking, Ogbonna Nwoko, who was the spokesperson of the Rivers PDP Campaign Council, said the former governor Nyesom Wike provided constructive leadership and put a level playing field in place for all political actors in Rivers State to take advantage of during the 2023 general elections. Listen to what he had to say.
EU report concerning Rivers State and the alleged actions of former Governor Nyesom Wike is substantially skewed and inaccurate. It is a report, in our view, that was not only intended to tarnish Nigeria's democracy, but was also anchored on a predetermined and biased premise. It is evident that the EU or its agents simply relied on unverified accounts of events peddled by gullible persons, political propagandists, and mischief makers who were willing even to blame the air that they breathed for whatever went wrong during the period under review.
All right, so do you think the PDP in Rivers State has got a good argument that, we Nigerians, we always try to look for faults even when there are no faults, and so that's why we were able to lean towards the EU report more than we should have done? Or do you think maybe they are not seeing what we saw? Maybe they are not, they're not getting the feel of what we felt. I'm just asking. I say we as Rivers people, not necessarily that I'm on your side. I'm on nobody's side. Like the former president will say, I'm for everybody and I'm for nobody, right? Okay, moving on. Port Harcourt Ring Road will be completed in 3 years. So yesterday, while we're having that conversation, the 5 o'clock hour, I asked my guest a question, and he said he did not know. I also had not seen a report on how long the project will take, but no, a 3-year timeline has been put. And do you think in 3 years having a ring road will be very beneficial to? I mean, you had the perks of the ring road yesterday from my guest on the show yesterday, Ross Alabo. I don't know, looking at the benefits, I get that some of you have concerns that the money could have been used for other projects, alternative projects. But then again, it depends on how it's funded. If it's not funded from the IGRU, the FAC, any of it, if it's funded from external means, then it might just be a good project, right? If it is, do you think 3 years, looking at it, I don't know, are you looking forward to the ring road, basically, in 3 years? Do you think that's good enough, right? All right, let's move on to the next one. Wike's rumored influence in emergence of minority leaders baseless. It's coming from Senator Ned Nwoko. Senator Ned Nwoko said that we're giving too much credence to the former governor because actually the selection of minority leaders were done by the various minority parties, and not the party itself, but the members of the party in the Senate and the House of Reps. And so it wasn't done by one individual, or it wasn't done by party itself, but done by party members in the National Assembly. You remember someone was speaking, a couple of people spoke yesterday concerning the APC NWC rift with the principal officers that emerged. And, a lot of them echoed the same chorus. And they said, see, it's not time for politics. It's not a party affair. It's about the people in the Senate and the House of Reps, going about their functions and their responsibilities. So do you think Ned is right? Do we tend to give politicians too much praise, too much what's the word now? Too much reverence? Do we tend to bow at their feet at every opportunity, even when not necessary? Or do you think, just maybe, due to the political schemings of the former governor, he was able to influence to a large extent the principal officers in the National Assembly? I'd like to hear from you. All right, moving on. Let's see. Resident doctors give federal government ultimatum to implement salary raise. The ultimatum is, I think, 2 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I need to check my report now. Just give me a second. But the question is, why again? Or should I say, the exclamation is not again. Not again. Doctors going on strike, the masses will suffer even more because it will affect the health sector. However, they are, re-echoing their demand, which is, salary raise. I think, is it 200,000 naira salary raise, something like that. I'm looking for the report. I had it. Yeah, look at it here. The Nigerian Association. Oh, it's almost time for a commercial break. So I'm going to take a pause. Remember to keep sending in those messages on WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. When I start to take contributions, when I start to take your thoughts, I will start with WhatsApp. Remember, we're also live on Facebook. You can watch me. I like to interact with you live, like I was interacting with Louis Igoni live on Facebook yesterday. So let's have that live conversation on Facebook as well. Nigeria Info PH. Just stay tuned after the commercial break. I'll be right back. And conversations continue right about now on Hard Facts with Kalada Kurubachabo. Remember, you're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info, your talk news and sports radio station. All right, that being said, I was taking a look at resident doctors' demand and, of course, the ultimatum given to the federal government concerning their strike that they might embark on if there is no salary raise by the end of the 2-week ultimatum. So the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, issued a fresh 2-week ultimatum to the federal government for the implementation of a 200%, okay, that's what I was looking for, 200% salary increment. This is a tough time, I should say. I think the federal government is grappling or finding it hard with some revenue, generation. So, how do I put it now? The federal government is finding it hard financially. Let's put it that way. And I'm wondering if an increment in salary will be possible now. So what that means is that there is the likelihood that NAD will go on strike. And if NAD goes on strike, how does that affect you and I? How does that affect, the functionality of the hospitals, especially tertiary hospitals in Nigeria? Because the primary health is little or nothing to write home about. And then when you then think about the tertiary institution that happens to cater for a lot of our health needs, if they do go on strike, that will be crippling the health sector. How do you think we should maneuver our way around this, given that there is the financial situation on the part of the government, and there is the Association of Resident Doctors saying we need 200% salary increment? The last time they went on a warning strike, I guess it was for the same issue, and we talked about it, and I also narrated how many times they had gone on strike in the past few years. I have that written or jotted down somewhere, so maybe if we have that conversation, I'll bring back my notes and we'll talk about it. But to the final big story, and I think this is a big story, NECO deploys e-platform for result verification confirmation. Now, for the better part of this week, we've been talking about Miss Omar versus Jam. How Miss Omar says she had a score reduced to 249, and later said, you know what, she got a notification that her score was 249. However, all through the situation, Jam has maintained its narrative that, it was a fake score that she presented in the first place, that she flaunted in the first place. And Jam maintained that its system was never breached. It had and still has certain security measures to help it ensure that its certificate or its results are authentic and not verification and confirmation. Because during that period also, people said, oh no, I registered for science subjects and I got art subjects in my result sheet. Some people said, oh, I've also been a victim. Jam told me I scored this, and when I went back, they said I scored this. And so NECO is not doing that with you. They have a two-system verification where, once you verify the first time, it re-verifies to ensure that your result and your certificate are authentic. Remember, during the week also, you and I, we talked about the credibility of examination bodies in Nigeria. Do you think all other exam bodies, should emulate what NECO has done? Not just, for the exam bodies, because now currently Jam is beating his chest and it's saying, oh, I'm very, very certain, I'm very sure that the system was not breached. But then again, there are times when there could be glitches because this is a computer system, right? So there should be a verification system, a system that once you check your results, there is a way it verifies to ensure that the result that has been churned out by the computer system is an authentic result. All right, that being said, I'm going to open the phone lines right now. It's time for you to jump in on the conversation. Ring me right now with the numbers 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp number for messages, 0809 0306416. All right, that being said, I'm going to go to the phone lines. Let's see. Okay, while the calls are coming in and the call screener is taking down the names of the callers, let's start with WhatsApp as I promised. Please, can you tell us where the Port Harcourt Ring Road traverses? So, basically, from my layman knowledge, the Ring Road will surround Port Harcourt and Obiakpor. So the local government surrounding this, the closest like MOR, I want to believe HA Query as well. It cross across. I can't say specifically, but I know that the immediate surrounding local governments, about 6 of them, will be the ones that will be touched by the Ring Road, so to say, or affected in a good way by the Ring Road. This one says, what is the opportunity cost of that 200 billion naira Ring Road? The opportunity costs are take off guaranteed credit loan to SMEs to young entrepreneurs, resurrection of the Songhai farms in Ogoni, resurrection of Buguma Fish Farm, connecting the riverine areas to the capital with bridges, construction of major canals to curb the erosion and floods in the Rashi areas and in the uplands, declare state of emergency on bad internal roads, the rumoured in Baraja, Cornerstone New Road, all our debts traps, reinvest to 200 billion naira in the syringe factory laying waste, need assessment. If a needs assessment is done in River State, that Ring Road wouldn't be a part of the recommendation after the assessment. There are pressing issues and proper societal economic policies that need to be initiated. There has to be an intentional social contract for the people by the government. Poverty alleviation, social capital programs are needed now. The Ring Road is good, but it shouldn't be the gear to start as a new government. Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been defined as a technocrat, but this is not how technocrats start public administration. I have a few questions for the governor and my friend Yarin tagged. What are the economic potentials of the Ring Road? How will it directly affect the grassroots, people in the rural area? What of agri loans to peasant farmers to increase capacity? Charles Cottrell with that one. But Charles, if you listened to the show yesterday, I think my guest answered some of these questions. He says it will affect the rural areas positively, help economic flow and all of that. But I've got Robin from HA. Robin, greetings to you. Welcome on the show. Hello, welcome, Robin. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to react on the response going around by the PDP spokesperson and
Robin, your network is not very clear. I can't hear you. Can you speak again, please?
Can you hear me?
Still not clear. Robin, do call us back, yeah? Do call us back, thank you. Braid from Alwan Dio. Braid, welcome.
Yeah, Canada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome on the show. Let's talk.
Thank you very much. Canada, let me talk on the 200 billion naira for road construction, Ring Road.
We're not necessarily talking about the Ring Road again because we talked about it yesterday.
Hello, Canada.
Can you hear me, Braid?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I said we're not necessarily talking about the Ring Road because we talked about it yesterday, but we're looking at the time frame, 3 years, and I'm asking, is that a good deal, basically?
Canada, the time frame for me, the way the River State government and the House of Assembly is going about this project is suspicious. It's suspicious.
All right.
They should not use it for the road. We have agriculture. We have aquaculture. Right now that the government has removed subsidy, everywhere is fighting hard. They should be able to look at the agriculture and mechanized farming. We have the Songhai farm. We have the banana plantation. We have school to land. And we also have Buguma Fish Farm. They can also make a deep fish farming to be possible. And also, please, I'm appealing to see, let this money don't divert to any other place. I'm also appealing to EFCC to monitor River State very well, because I'm suspecting that this money might be diverted to political election tribunal. So I'm
No.
appealing that
No. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. That's
allegedly, I'm
no.
saying
That's an
that the
allegation.
EFCC
No, that's an allegation.
investigate.
You cannot verify, and you know the rules on the show. I
So
don't do
I'm
speculations.
that is why I'm a river citizen.
You can say the money will be mishandled, but you cannot say categorically it's going to be used for XYZ. That I cannot say. Nope, that's a speculation that should not be done. All right. Okay.
Budget that has been rolled out for river people.
All right.
And let river people see that money is going there and it should be accounted for.
Okay. All right.
They are serving river people.
All right. Thank you very much.
Whatever money that is being spent, it should be accounted for river people. They should give account of their stewardship.
Okay. All right. They should give account, you said, but thank you very much. Moving on. Frank from D-Line, welcome.
Good afternoon, Batabo.
Frank, welcome, please.
Yeah, let me comment on Ned Nwoko statement.
All right, please do.
Ned Nwoko statement is a laughable one.
Why is it a laughable one?
If he claimed that we should not eulogize Wike. Wike nominated Kingsley Chinda as the minority leader of the House of Representatives.
Sorry. Let me ask you a question. How did he nominate? Is the former governor a part of the National Assembly? How did he nominate Kingsley Chinda?
No, it does not end only in the chambers there. The party also will have their own discussion. This is who represents us there. Are you getting my point?
I'm listening to you.
So if he said it's only why APC national chairman is crying today
because it was done. No.
That this one should be our minority leader. That one in last assembly when emerged because we can nominate Cinda. So today I don't know why him is now talking the other way around because they lost the whole two. I think Tamboa lost. That is their candidate. So there's no need of coming on air and talk Wike. Wike has defeated them and he will continue to defeat them. That's my comment this afternoon. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Frank. But Frank, like you rightly, referenced the APC National Working Committee, angry about the selection process. It shows that it wasn't about external factors, but basically about internal factors. I don't know if you agree with me, but I've got Jude from Omuma. Jude, greetings to you. Welcome on the show. Let's talk.
EU's report on River State, not based on facts, said PDP scrap. Let me give you one fact, because there are a whole lot of facts. Let me give you one. On the day NECO came to campaign in Omuma, it was disrupted. The boys came on 4 Hilux vans, started shooting when people were gathering. I personally called the Commissioner of Police, Ned Nwoko. I sent him text messages. In one of them, he responded and said, not only the party's property that were damaged, because canopy, chairs, sound system, vehicles around were damaged. Ned Nwoko said the police van that was parked there was touched. That was his response by text message. So a whole lot happened, which the party APC can have give you a lot of facts. If they say not based on facts, that's why I've just given you one. In Omuma, a whole lot of people were wounded the day NECO visited or came to campaign. Things were damaged, vehicles were damaged, instruments, a lot. People were wounded. So what kind of fact does PDP want? So they should accept that EU, European Union, are we saying that they were bribed to give that report? The answer is no. So the record or the report they have given.
All right. All right, then.
It's a fact.
All right, then.
And it remains fact. A lot more can come if they want.
All right, then. All right, thank you very much, Jude. Thank you very much. I've got Sarah Barry from Bori. Sarah Barry, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, Sarah Barry from Bori. Afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I want to support Ned Nwoko. You know, they say 23 jump near 3, monkey say impact. But people, and even some of my colleagues, they used to have PT. I just look at them. It's not everything. Before my thoughts, I make you. No, we're in River State. All we know about maybe they are just confined to River State. So they think which DKS is in government. He has some influence over some persons. But you know that everything that happened, I feel like this one I'm talking about, he's not a member of the Senate, not a member of the House of Reps, and then he says like that he influenced. No. He does. We should stop hyping him. And the EU report, look, let's not be. We were in this state. I saw what happened. I know what happened. But the president, I supported Tinubu. I am a supporter of Tinubu. But doesn't mean that.
Are you sure? Are you really sure you're a supporter of Tinubu? Really? You don't sound like it.
No, I am. I'm coming. I am. What I'm saying is that there's an EU report.
Okay.
And does not mean that with or without River State result, Tinubu was already winning.
Okay.
Yes. You know that sometimes the oil, they say, when you just get more, it will send other hands. River State result is just telling Tinubu's victory. That's what I would say. So not that all the reports is a lie. You want the one they talk about River State, especially before the election. Is it not what happened? The time crier, is it not what happened? Are we not saying that those things are not true? It's just that I'm giving this bad name now to a victory that this man is the best candidate among all candidates. So, but you should know that with or without River State results, you know River State results, Tinubu is still winning with landslide. That is all I want to contribute.
All right,
I don't know what error else they added, but in River State report, the one they wrote about River State is true. Thanks.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Sarah Barry. I hope it's not because of the ministerial nomination issue that all of these arguments are being made. But I've got Promise from Gokana. Promise, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome, please.
Yes, you report on River State. The report isolated River State and identify some peculiar matters that you and I, every River person who were in River State before and during the election, is aware that River State has these peculiar issues. So I think the report that isolated River State, that the government uses some apparatus to ensure that opposition parties are not able to campaign freely and also canvass for votes, I think is adequately correct.
Okay.
This is because I believe and I know that every River person who were in this state is aware that for the first time in the history of our state, that political parties were not giving political parties and their own candidates.
All right.
You have to pass it through a process that they know you cannot undergo. Do you know that the 2021 that the party government did was to withhold other political parties? Now let's assume that you go and apply to use a particular school for your campaign. You know what they will do? They practically delay the process until you don't meet up the date that you give to police to permit you to do campaign. And they will say that you're not going the processes they're supposed to go. That was the need they used to shorten opposition parties to campaign. So I think the EU report on River State is perfectly correct. The reason why I still wasn't winning in River State is not because the Shomiki supported him. In River State, we have just like two candidates, the Peter Obi and the Asiwaju. Why? Because we have the APC and the political party, which no matter what happens, 50% of the APC will support Asiwaju. We have the SDP, the Senaman of Abe, who supporters are 100% Asiwaju. And if some person too from PDP also support Asiwaju, it makes Asiwaju, despite the all in River State, will definitely win. You know, so the issue of River State and the report by the EU will not in any way have invalidated the Asiwaju victory in River State.
All right.
But at the same time, we are saying that the process, we are not that as expected.
All right, then. All right. Thank you very much, Promise. I've got Robin from HA. Robin, greetings to you. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Kalada.
I can hear you clearly now. Go ahead.
Okay, good and fine.
still, I want to talk about, I've been saying it and I will say it again. That is the topic we are discussing. In my place, in Ekpe, when the goat is on the rope, an old man will not allow it to burn on the rope. What is not fact? I'm trying to whittle the argument being canvassed across board by one of the agitators who are called on the former governor to be the leader of APC. What are they saying now? What is the spokesperson of a PDP? What is he talking now? What are they talking now?
All right.
What is Obuna Wike saying now? That we are not here, that we are blind, that we are deaf. Okonefion was here, was giving reports that all the cars in the compound of Senator Lee Meba were all rickety cars. You heard what you that called from Amuma, you heard what he said. Are we not in River State here? Is it because we don't have opportunity to be in the saddle that we don't know what happened, we cannot talk?
Okay. All
and
right.
these are the body brought in here, accredited by INEC to observe. And when you are asked to observe, are you not going to say what you have observed?
But they say it's not based on facts. Their arguments are not based on facts.
Which facts? Which are the facts now? Which are the facts? In a Tipa Park here in a Chokocho, they chase them now in that Tipa Park now. Is that school property?
All right. I've got to go now. I've got Robin. I've got to go now.
Is that school property? Executive order 21 and 22. Where does that take place in politics in the whole world? And all the meetings they were going in, is not in Europe with the current president. They were flying the former G5. They were flying to France, flying to UK. It's not Europe. All
right then. All right. I need to read messages. Thank you very much, Robin. Your point noted. I've got Richard, and Richard is calling from Port Harcourt. I missed that one. Sorry, Richard. I've got Clinton from Bury. Clinton, greetings to you. Welcome. Let's talk.
Good evening, Kaladavi. Good afternoon.
All of the above. Welcome.
Yeah, I know that you are a journalist and you might be restricted or limited to give your say as regard the EU report.
Clinton.
But I know
Clinton, can you hear me?
Hello?
Now, so let me make it plain for as many people who are listening. I come here every day deciding, or already I've decided not to take any side. So my job is to report and tell you, oh, this is happening, these are the facts, these are the statistics, these are the data, and then that's all I do. I don't give my opinion.
Okay, but I know you have your own opinion, but you don't want to say it.
Leave that alone.
Okay, so this is the EU report in Rivers State. I think Governor Wike is giving Rivers State a bad name, because we that are living in Rivers State, we are active participants of the election. We saw all the steps Wike took to stop other political parties from campaigning in the state. We cannot deny that Executive Order 22, 21 and 22 were put in place to limit other political parties from campaigning. And the EU observers were in Nigeria. They were in Rivers State here, they saw everything. We went to Ahoda, the NCP campaign train went to Ahoda, and we were shot at sporadically at Ahoda there. Other political parties went to campaign and they were also stopped. Look at they also brought up another step by using town criers, telling supporters that they should not vote for Ogoniman, that Ogoniman will take everything to Ogoni. So these are things put in place to stop other political parties from campaigning. So I think the EU report is very correct. Then secondly, they want to do 200 billion project for 3 years.
No. Clinton, you know the rules. Clinton, one story per one person per story, one story per person.
All right,
and that's how we do
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you very much, Clinton. So let's focus on messages now, please. Can we? Got a ton of messages here. Okay, so I'll start from here. How would Governor Fubara push to borrow 200 billion naira for road construction when there are huge debt left by his predecessor, or the huge debt left by his predecessor hasn't been paid like other states are doing? He should make life better for suffering Rivers people. Can't he promote workers as campaigned by his principal, Victor from Ebema? Victor, like I've said, we do not know yet, or I do not know if you have any fact to that effect. Show me where he said he's going to borrow. Let's not do speculations on the show. But you went ahead to say, what is Rivers PDP telling us about the EU report? Are we all not here and saw the electoral violence, killing, warning of opposition through town criers, parties shutting down of INEC office, ballot box snatching, and the first executive orders? All right, Victor, thank you very much. This one says, Ned Nwoko should know that there is lobbying into any political office, and the emergence of Kingsley Chinda as the minority leader was aided by former Governor Wike, who went out lobbying other legislatures in favor of his preferred candidate. Hector, please, on the EU report, what will be the usefulness of the EU report to the tribunal on the 200 billion naira supplementary budget for funding Port Harcourt Ring Road in 3 years? Port Harcourt Ring Road will be completed in 3 years. It's a welcome development. Yesterday, having listened to an expert and consultant, I think I'm satisfied. But the question is, when did the former governor pay all the loans of his administration collected, since there was a claim that the former administration did not leave any debt? It was all in public domain when the Wike government requested for loans on different occasions. So how come the public was not aware when the loan was redeemed? Hector, thank you very much. And this one says, just 1 month in office, Governor Fubara sees road construction as a priority like his predecessor. We have a backlog of unpaid gratuities, non-promotion of workers. Mr. Governor should think more on the welfare of Rivers people. Patrick from Thai. And then you said only a fool or deaf person would claim ignorance of the 10 restrictions that former Governor Wike placed on other political parties in the state. Sidney Bara and Ogbona Wike are not sincere in their reactions to the EU report. All right, thank you very much, Patrick. So says Canada, I greet you. For the resident doctors, they should go on strike as soon as possible. If the National Assembly will continue to collect jumbo salaries and do nothing, but doctors who are saving lives are receiving peanuts, then that strike is a welcome one for me. And for the PDP condemning the EU report, I laugh. The past governor and his government made the state difficult for the opposition. That is the truth. Franklin, thank you. Why are we like this? The same EU will run to for borrowing money. Now we condemn. This one says, good afternoon, Canada. The ring road to be constructed in 3 years are in which of the LGAs, and within these 3 years, what are the measures in place for the affected areas during the construction? This government is just not serious. Thank you, Oswald. Okay, you know what, Oswald? I would ask for the newsroom to help me with the 6 local government. I know it's been mentioned somewhere. I just cannot remember all of it now. For me, Canada, the ring road in the state is a welcome development, no matter how good the government policies are. They will always be criticized. Are they aware of the benefit of that ring road? Time will be our witness when it is completed in 3 years' time. Ima Otaka in Chuba. Okay, so I'm going to skip. Let's see now. So this Mesoma story makes me wonder what is really wrong with us as a people. Does it mean because someone chooses to parade a fake result and majority decides to follow along with the wrong narrative? How can someone use a template that was never used in 2023 to make a claim and people are still giving it attention? That's not what we're talking about, Dominic. Dominic, we're looking at NECO's move to, start a new verification system for their results and certifications. I support the doctors going on strike. In fact, a civil action is long overdue for these politicians who are these priorities taken them out. Because come to it, economy that is dollar-based, how much does the level of public service, for example, I can tell you that not up to $100 per month, while the politicians earn huge wages and gigantic pension workers. Industrial action is long overdue. Transfer, etc., justices and charges, all the public servants' wages get hit by inflation. Working in this rich black nation is tantamount slavery. Henry Port Harcourt. One government spent almost years in construction of roads, overhead bridges, and it was activists and we also comment on how next government to close both when these people are definitely and economically insufficient in industrial revamp, agriculture, and building road. I make bold to say that word I do not from seeing someone behind intervention. But this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say. Remember in the inaugural speech, it means industrialization, agriculture, social housing, things. So let's see. If this report is true. That's the EU report, you mean? Governor Wike put in orders that denied on Facebook. Oh my goodness, I've read a lot already. Okay. UKJ Obamadu says, on the EU report, I want to ask if EU had given a report commending former Governor of Rivers State for a credible election, would we have rejected the recommendations of the EU? EU was invited by the federal government to observe the elections, and EU are telling us what they observed. It is like saying the EU had no eyes when they are able to see all that happened. Funny, is it? I'm laughing as well. Emmanuel Silvanus Pona Yobo says, I wonder if you want to visit the election. Even the radio station you work for gave an extensive coverage of the elections where we witnessed bombing of opposition grounds, crowds deployed to one position for coming out, blocking the INEC office, creating so many things. At realization, the steps of the elections state as follows: when our enemies possible, tell them, go to court, your supporters all over already and TV defend you say election was credible. However, Manuel, I can take you on it. Actually, in the field, the people who gave the reports that you listen to, as a matter of fact, I cover the Ogoni Okri. And I agree with you, some of these things happen. Cannot directly the government of day at the time say, yes, certain laws gave death. And that's why I was trying to explain to you yesterday that you refused. I saw your messages yesterday. I just refused to take you on those debates. But that's the more I could take. Time is spent. It's almost an hour. And of course, almost time for the business news. Please do stay tuned when I come back. More conversation.